still breathing. We're back for another one. Underground World News Live. And good evening. Hope you're all doing well today. Thank you, Occult Priestess, Kev Bar, Hoodie Ross. Much love to everybody out there that shares the stream. S Bird. Much love to all the mods out there and all the feedback. J Bear, Galra, Wild West, Judge Britt. Thank you. Jay from the Bill, Uncommon. And thank you, E Fitz. It's good to hear things are going better for you, that's for sure. Yeah, did somebody say free Hoodie? Time for exploring. Well, if you ain't been around, Hoodie's free. He's here with us. He sure is floating around out there somewhere. I think he may be listening on Twitter. But he's dropped new music. Can't Contain Me. Me, Him, Fire to Flame. A lot of people have been loving that. Been getting a lot of good feedback. So thank you guys for that. Yeah, the helicopters need to stop harassing me as well. You might have seen a video I dropped earlier today on YouTube. It's another visit by low-flying choppers that going right overhead. This time they did about 5. What I could hear and see and count, 5 different loops right around. And everybody always says to go check out Ads Exchange and Flight Radar. I mean, come on. I know this. I'm the one that's been telling people to do this stuff for years, man. I busted out Flight Radar before people even knew what Flight Radar was. Back in MH370 went missing, stuff like that. Anyhow, this is not on there. Whatever aircraft that I presume is the Kentucky Marijuana Strike Force is what I think it is. It's a multi-unit type of thing. It's got different agencies. It's got feds involved, some locals that you never know who's up in the chopper. MODOK, Rough Stock. Thank you for that. But yeah, when they get the glass bottoms, they're looking for something. People are like, maybe they're checking power lines. Like, man, get. No, not around here. Not like that. When they're circling like that and going right over the house and the property, it was them. Same choppers last time, but I went on both Flight Radar and the Ads Exchange, and was nothing. I found all kinds of other choppers within 400 or 500 miles, but nothing but the flight path that came through here, nothing that they're showing or even registering. So everybody just thinks that it's always going to be on there, but I think again, yeah, because it was for sure, doing circles above us, and was not to be found, or I would have put it in the video, because I ran immediately in here and I checked, and there was nothing. I took a screenshot. I was like, man, for all the people just keep repeating this, not all these aircraft are on there. So definitely flying low key around here. There's Hoodie. D White, much love. MC Dirty. He's over. Panther, Gary. They're over in D Live chilling. That's like the chill lounge. Lord McCormick. Much love. Fire to Flame. All my cats across the pond in the UK. We're called Priestess. Yeah, that's super creepy. Yeah, and it's 4th of July. So, heads on a swivel, and for those that are out there celebrating, trying to have a good time with friends and family, just be safe. I'm starting off with the shot right here from the mountains. This is coming out of Colorado. Shout out to Tacos, Crazy Tacos and Company, Tooge. All my cats that were up here in the mountains, they had a brew on the fire here of some good old Beard Vet coffee. Sent me these images to share. Looks like they had a great time. Got some quads going on up there. Annie, thank you. But yeah, that's up the Rockies, man. And I'd say it's pretty decent weather up here this time of year. Here it's been like in the 90s. It's been baking. Um, yeah. Anyhow, yeah. If you like that coffee, there, Daryl, check out Beard Vet. Beard Vet Coffee right there. One of the only cats out there I'd ever pick up as a sponsor for the channel and rep him because he's a real cat and they got good stuff. But much love to Beard Vet and Company as well. Colorado Springs been hot. Well, I like 70s. I like the fall anymore. I mean, I dig the summer and get it in them nice days when I can. But in the summer, I'm up like when we're out getting work done, like up at before sunrise, traveling to get to the spot by sunrise. Yeah. Anyhow, let's get this thing going. From big cities to small towns, it's 4th of July. And we've put out a ton of alerts and warnings on this. Not just around this holiday, but just around this whole window. The further we get into this election cycle, it seems like everything just goes up a notch every day. Just the tension level, and the chances for something to really pop off. Last month I was warning about the Pride events to watch out for, and sure enough, one got hit. Here we are, just moving right along. 6 months in the books, 2024. We're now here, July 3rd, on the eve of the 4th of July. UK election day. To watch for. There's a lot of elections globally. There was this year. California's on fire, so they canceled their fireworks show. Wow. I know everywhere's different. I gotta say, well, I'm out here in the boonies, literally, by name. Much love, Wayne. Tomorrow night, I know last year and all the years before, on the 4th of July, it'll be popping off outside. Surprised, I'm not hearing nothing right now. Although I think I hear a chopper. I swear to you. Ironically. What in the hell? Yeah, it sounds like a chopper. Out there. I don't know, man. Just be safe out there is all I could say. Stay cool. A record number of people traveling. By car, by plane, hitting the road. You may be gearing up to hit the road yourself. Be safe out there. It's going to be a long holiday weekend. Just try to make the most of it, man. With all this madness always going on, I don't want to be reporting on something stupid, but it's just, if they've got something planned, what are you going to do to counter that? So, all right. Get an update here on the Boeings. A lot of people out there flying. I know this is not what you want to hear. I can't just shut this stuff off, though. Like, if I know that there's stuff going on with airplanes and all this stuff, like, I got to tell my people. I got to tell everyone out there, like we have been, that Boeing, in its new aircraft from the past few years, it's using fraudulent metal to push these aircraft and potentially even spacecraft. So now a dozen people injured after a Boeing 787 hits what they say was heavy turbulence over the Atlantic. Thank you, Cindy, for the 5 coffees. Much love right back. Appreciate it to the fullest. But this kind of freaks me out for anyone that's out there flying, especially if you got family, friends, anybody you know. These 787s just are not trustworthy at this point. Um, if I was going to make any of those long hauls, I'd be looking into something private, even though it's going to be more expensive. Cheaper's not always the best way, but cheaper gets you killed. With engines catching on fire, doors ripping off, windows popping out, things barrel rolling, nose diving, everything you can think of. I'll drive. It's kind of hard, though, if you have to cross the ocean. You're going to take that boat, or you're going to fly. Choices. They say you're boarding a Boeing 787. I'd be asking some questions for real. Because the newer models, the ones made in the past few years, are the ones with the biggest issues with this whole metal thing. Not to say that there's not other issues in older models, but a lot of these issues have been popping up the past couple of years. You guys have seen it. I've been reporting on it. And it's because they've been made ever since like 2020 with this fraudulent metal. And when this metal heats up, instead of withstanding the heat, it forms little pinholes in the engine cover and the wings. I mean, you name it, anywhere on the aircraft. It gets pretty scary. So just a heads up. Now, we got an explosion that happened today in Arkansas. This actually hit a General Dynamics facility. If you don't know, General Dynamics, a major contractor for the military. They produce Hellfire and Javelin missiles. Big factory down there. Apparently this injured multiple people, and there's still a person missing. It is an 880,000 square foot weapons factory. It sits about 86 miles south of Little Rock. So it is a leader in high rate production of weapons, including all the crap that you're seeing being used in Ukraine right now. We don't know exactly what's happened here. You're saying an accident, but what if it's something else? This is a critical site. This is a national security type site. This is a military installation producing weapons. And it gets rocked by a massive explosion. So, I make note of these things with everything going on in Ukraine. We're now striking Russia inside Russian territory left and right like it doesn't matter. Striking their innocent people on the beaches with banned munitions, cluster munitions, and everything else. It's insane. Yeah, we're doing it, and then they're acting like nothing happened. I'm just saying, man. The mainstream, if this was hit and they weren't ready for it, or our military, they wouldn't, if they could just sweep it under the rug, they would, but I'll update as I get more information on that. Now, you guys may recall, I've reported on this ancient computer several times, and a lot of the mystery around it. But now, the researchers are saying that they think that they've figured out what it was for. This 2,000-year-old computer, so to speak, that was found in a shipwreck. So that is an old device, and this goes way back before they want to tell us there's anything like its kind that existed. For them to have this gadget on board, it tells me that there was more. There's all kinds of high technology out there. I believe they even had higher, cleaner, better vibrational energies on this planet. And if you know anything about Lemuria, Atlantis, these were high vibrating civilizations that had high technologies. Same with the Egyptians, all this stuff. And all these other ancient sites we see around the world that just can't be explained. To go back to Tepes, Easter Islands, all these connections and links. You guys know it. The Indiana Jones and you roars that, we're being lied to. But it's crazy. In the Indiana Jones, I guess there's a dial of destiny. I've never seen it. That must match this. They think that this is something that was used to track the moon. Yeah. So they think that it was set up in a way to where it was tracking everything had to do with space and tracking the number of lunar days in a year. So that's just one possibility. That's what they're saying. It could have done more than that. It could have done that along with, imagine a computer. A computer could do that and a whole lot more. So it could have done that plus more. So you can't just write it off that it was just a one-trick pony, or so to speak here. It did one thing. But yeah, they're leaning that way, that they're at least saying that this thing was calculating the moon and the stars as they traveled. So, yeah. Okay. They're only going to drop breadcrumbs. Much love, Pixie. Yeah, and when you go back to pre-flood, fallen tech, everything before the big flood, man, there was high-grade stuff here. And you got to think it got buried in mud and water and ice, all this stuff. There were several events tied to that. If you just go back 12,500 years ago-ish, the Younger Dryas, the same time when these objects came in from space and they impacted Greenland, which was covered in ice, left huge canyons that they're now showing us. Under the sheets of ice, they're saying, yo, something massive impacted here. It sure did. And it left these huge scars on the earth all throughout Canada and into the United States. These huge, perfectly circular or oval shapes in the earth. And they're like, what the heck is this? They go digging, trying to find a rock. There's no rock. It's because it was ice. It hit, impacted, then melted. There was nothing. You're not going to find nothing. So they say that serves as proof, as a huge event. It's written in your Bible. This place got flooded out because it got so evil. Did you ever forget that? They didn't hide these things. This written account, we know this. This place was flooded out because it got so wicked. Looky where we are at now. They always say, it's like the days of Noah. And what did Noah build? An ark. This Noah is about to enter his ark. As soon as it starts to rain, there's no turning back, so to speak, metaphorically. That brings me into some weather. A Cat 4 hurricane. It was Cat 5. This is Hurricane Burl. Heading toward Texas. Now, the spaghetti models on this thing, they're all over the place. This is heading towards South Texas, but nonetheless, a lot of the oil refineries or rigs, should I say, out in the waterway. Let's look at this one right here. This black line is where they're saying it's going to go. You've got all these other models, but the black is the strongest in what they're going with, which means that it's going to, the system, get ready for this. It's going to cut in. It's going to kind of ricochet off of southern Texas and cut back in toward Louisiana. And this could bring a lot of rain. New Orleans could see some. Definitely Houston. Houston, get ready for this because you sit below sea level. We've seen what they did last time. They cloud seeded before a hurricane came in and left the city in a bowl of water. It was an emergency. It was a nightmare. But the thing's going to cut right on up, right across the Midwest, right up to Tennessee and do some kind of weird zig right over Tennessee and into Kentucky, right up into New England before it fizzles out. So we could all get a taste of this thing, bring in some wind, rain in the coming days. I know some people will take it if you've been going through drought. But the hurricane season has begun. I told you it's going to be a more intense one than usual because of what they say is going on with this La Nina. And they called for more significant storms than usual. I don't know. I mean, that hit a Cat 5 out there south of the Caribbean before it even became a threat to us. I don't know if they'll count that one as being one of those major storms. I would think it'd have to be a major storm hitting the United States to get into that category. But I'll update. We've got Invest 96L coming in behind it, I think it is. That thing could form. Hurricane Hulk Hogan, coming through at some point. Yeah, I don't doubt it. We're just gonna have to watch it, man. It's just getting started, just getting going. All right, check this one out. We got a victory, major victory for American energy. You got to take them where you get them these days. These judges have been on a roll. We got a judge now blocking Biden's pause on LNG export licenses. Now, if you've missed it, the Joe Biden regime has absolutely liquidated our petroleum reserves in this country. Our reserves. They've completely decimated them. It's like treasonous. It will take a long time to replenish that. Then he put everything in the Northeast on the chopping block here recently. And then tried to say that no one could sell any coal anywhere. They started going after all these licenses to export natural gas. All your God-given resources that God gave you to get by with, they're trying to attack and shut down. They hate it in the name of climate change, trying to say they're going to try to curb the carbon stuff. It's all garbage. Well, a judge said it was garbage and threw it out and was like, everything can resume. And these people are just crazy. Marley coming in with 5 coffees. Thank you. Much love. Appreciate it to the fullest. Turn it down here. But this is a constant battle out here when it comes to all this stuff. I told you about the whole EV charging station thing. They're getting attacked. Well, in Seattle, they're like taking it to like another level, man. They're going after all of them. I'm gonna play a clip here, so you guys can see exactly what is going on. Let me refresh this first. They're going after the copper that's in the lines, as I told you before. Remember, I was telling you during these storms in different areas, they're going after the telephone lines or the power lines. Now, that's pretty brazen and pretty crazy. You know, if they think the power's out, they're chopping down the power pole and then stepping the lines. Now, when one of these dudes tears into a live wire that they think is out, it'll be the last time they do that. But I guess snipping these charging cables is a lot safer. And it's like they're nailing them everywhere. Watch.
Cut all the Tesla charging cables. You would think that it's a protest or some symbol of activism, but it's not. It's the Bay Area. These things have a load of copper in them. So you gotta recycle them and cash them in.
Yeah, that's in the Bay Area. That's a Tesla supercharger station. Can you imagine the billions that Buttigieg and the transportation department got to roll out these stations across the country. There's very few, and the ones that they do got out there are just getting snipped left and right. So, yeah. Here's another one for you. Scammers are impersonating water, electric, and gas companies. So this is a new alert going out from the BBB. Scammers are impersonating utility company representatives. They're trying to defraud people by threatening to deactivate your service. So this usually works best in high heat or extreme cold, where they know they've got someone. Like, you go outside for a couple minutes, you're sweating bullets, can't breathe. You need to go in and get some air, get in the AC. Well, it's in them hot periods that they're more than likely to call with these scams. Acting like your utility provider. So be on top of it. It's depending on where you're from, it may be rather easy to tell when these scammers call. I know when they try to call us around here, and I know it's happening because when they call us around here, well, it's happening in other places. We get these random calls, and we'll run them through the ringer. We'll say things, ask questions, catch them in lies, and it's ridiculous. They'll try to say that they're the local water company. Be like, well, which one? Where are you located? And they'll be like, well, located downtown next to the Holiday Inn. Be like, there is no Holiday Inn in this downtown. Something stupid like that gets them caught, and quick. When they can't even identify the area they're supposed to be in or from. So think about that. If you suspect that you're getting one of these calls, man, that right there is going to be a red flag right at the gate, telling you something's going on here. So not only are people out there cutting down and stealing all these things and stuff, but you've got these scammers that are doing this as well. And some of them are using AI. And another tactic that they're doing here is they're offering energy discounts. So they may not call and threaten to shut down your stuff, but they could just call to say, hey, offer some kind of something. And it should be a red flag because unless it's coming directly from your electric company or something like that, like directly from the provider. So, if a person has already made a payment to a scammer and you used your debit card or a credit card, you can contact your card issuing company and you can notify them that there's been fraudulent charges. And then you can request a payment reversal and they will get that going. That will be the process that they will begin. And that is per the FTC. This is per federal guidelines. So if you call them and you tell them about all this, you try to get this all reversed, in the situation, the FTC says that they have to take this path. The same process can be repeated in the case of a bank transfer, a wire transfer, money transfer, any of those. Contact a relevant firm and seek a reversal of the transaction if you think this happens. Now, if you paid via cash, went in and paid cash, I know some of the places around here, they only take cash. The individual must get in touch with the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. You can see the number there on the screen. And they have to intercept the package. Okay? So, these are the things they're saying to do. And listen to me clearly right here. And listen to this. Much love, Dwayne. If you pay via cryptocurrency, it is irreversible. I just told you all these ways you can stop it, you can reverse it, get them to get your money back. In debit card cases, credit card cases, cash cases, they'll even intercept it. But if you use cryptocurrency, you're done. It's gone. It's a lost cause. FTC is just flat saying if you use crypto, it's irreversible. You're not getting it back, can't get it back, it's done, gone. Ain't messing with it. So, yeah, and there's all kinds of ransoms being done, and what are they doing? What are 99% of the ransoms out there using? Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. Here the FTC saying that they're just going to get away with it at this point. So, yeah, I mean, heads up there. If you don't know, now you know. Let's look at some jobs here real quick across the country as they've been wiped out, and you guys know it. You know, anything, everything out there that you can think of. Every business you could think of, it seems like has been hit, has fired people. So many going bankrupt. Well, they're actually saying here that job openings unexpectedly surge. But it's driven entirely by government jobs. See? Wipe out all these jobs. Open up jobs in the government sector. Recruit in all these backstabbers or brown nosers because that's what the damn feds are full of. Sell out your American people quick. And that's your surge in jobs. It's them picking up all them new feds, so to speak. That's what they are. All the other jobs on flat are actually going down. But the Fed is on the rise here with their job openings. So it's like government. That's where it's at, and specifically the federal government. Yeah. And this is the recent, as I was showing you right here, openings right there, nose diving, but when it comes to the Fed, spiking, going through the roof. You see what they've done, right? Shut down all these jobs and they try to force the smartest and the brightest out there that they could try to get their hands on, or whoever's really willing to turn on their country to come work for them. Ultimately, that's a litmus test. As far as I can tell and I see. If you're going to try to get involved with the federal government and go anywhere with them, you're going to have to be willing to sell out your people, which is garbage, but that's what they're doing. Yeah, carrot on a stick, so to speak, for these jobs. Here's one. U.S. and Mexico truckers uniting to try to protest low wages, poor working conditions. And we remember what happened up there in Canada. They got that movement going. They tried to attack it. Justin Trudeau and his communist socialist government trying to track down and attack anybody that was supporting them and all this other crap. One kind of picked up here in America, but it kind of fizzled out. It wasn't nothing major. I don't know, anytime you see things like this, you wonder, will it grow? Will something come of it? Well, I don't know. This seems to be comprised of a lot of Mexican workers that are standing up for the rights of their fellow people in Mexico, and they're standing in unity with them. This whole place is getting turned inside out, man. U.S., Mexico. I don't know what it's like down there in Mexico right now, but when we see what's happening here in America, they're turning it into a third world country. They are. And just, I mean, what do you expect is going to happen when you wipe out all the jobs and everyone's left with nothing? It's the beginning of a Great Depression, not a recession, a depression. Oh man, we're in a big window right now of change. Man, the next 6 months, it's going to behold some of the craziest stuff I think we've seen yet. That's saying a lot. We've seen a lot of stuff. The next 6 months, though, man, it's going to be a wild one. Buckle up for real. Let's look across the country real quick. If any of you guys are thinking about moving, you want to find a place to ride out this crisis, to dodge the zombies, or to just get a foothold. Maybe you're trying to find a place that has a future, or maybe just offers an opportunity because things are cheaper in these hard times. And they're not going to get any easier, let me tell you. They're not, and you know it. It's only going to get worse. They're making it that way. Well, point out some of the most expensive places here in the country it costs to maintain a home. At the top of the list, Hawaii, and it doesn't surprise me, but California is just barely behind it. And then you've got Massachusetts, and I've told you time and time again about Boston, the high price of this area. Then Jersey, then Connecticut, Washington, New Hampshire, New York, Rhode Island. Number 10 is Colorado. A lot of those up in northeast of America. Then you go back, you got Vermont, Maryland, then Oregon, and then Florida and Utah. So there's a $10,000 difference there between the top there and even 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all of them above the top 10. There's a $10,000 gap there. But that includes property taxes, insurance, home maintenance, utility bills for a typical single-family home. So, I mean, yeah. You know, with an average annual cost of $29,000, Hawaii's the most expensive state to maintain a home. On the flip side, what does it say down here? Property taxes in New Jersey average $10,000 annually, the highest in the nation. Wow. I mean, wow. I never knew that. I never knew Jersey had, it was like that. Makes sense. Some of my cats, Panther, much love. Some of my cats out there that are from Jersey and that have left there, I can start to see why. It says here, states with the least expensive home ownership cost. It says Kentucky is the least expensive place in the country to own a home, with an average annual cost of $11,500, followed by Arkansas and Mississippi. So Kentucky, Arkansas, and Mississippi, the least expensive places there. That's where I'm at in KY. Tell people all the time it's a good place to ride this thing out against the beast, just for many reasons. Because of the moves my state's made, for one. A lot of them. They've told the banks get out if they were going to place them. So hold on one second. I apologize for that. And thank you, Uncommon. Reject the mark. That is right. But yeah, my state has made a lot of moves against the beast. Feds can't come in here and get any backing by any cops or anyone. If they come in here, they're on their own. It changes things. We're trying to go in and, Waco somebody. Um, Feds coming here into my state, they're on their own. They get no backing. Yep, and everyone can now constitutional carry. Don't need no permit. So it's like they've readied their people. They've made sure that everybody here has has a chance to fight back and survive. It's a lot different than some of these other states and governors who are setting their people up for failure. Well, if you ask me, the best part of my state is eastern Kentucky, the Appalachian. The same mountains that I love the Appalachian Mountains that run through the Carolinas, run through Tennessee, the good old Smoky Mountains, all that. Appalachian Mountains, definitely what I'd look into in terms of survival. Take your pick, any of those places. Ozarks is good too, I guess, behind the Appalachians, but any part of Kentucky is better than California. Hey, much love everybody out there. Yeah. So, Joe Biden threatens to send out the Attorney General to go after grocers. This is crazy. This is just nuts. We know that inflation's killing everybody. We know that it's part of this regime doing it. Everything that they're doing out there, the policies, and the Inflation Reduction Act, and all these things. He's wrecked everything. He's now literally saying that he's going to go after grocers for price gouging. And they're trying to blame this on groceries being jacked up by the owners of these places. And it's not what's happening. It's not price gouging. It's flat out inflation in a wrecked economy. Sure, there may be someone here or there doing it. But it's this bottom line because of what they've done. And some people are like, are you kidding me? He announces plans to jail grocers to combat his food inflation. It's nuts. So, yeah, 31 state attorney generals to take on price gouging. And with nobody gouging. So what are you going to do now? Force these places to, not move the prices at all and, to go under and in the hole like you've done the rest of the country? Yeah, I think it's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to shut this whole thing down. They have been for 4 years. Yeah, that's right, Uncommon. And good information there, brother. So, I don't know. One of the biggest things that I could say out there to anybody. Thank you, Charlie C., for the coffee. Illinois checking in. We got some Patriot holdouts up there in Illinois. Much love. I appreciate that to the fullest. I'm not sure what just happened there. Everything. Let me get a refresh here on my chat. Yet is a further attack on the food supply. Hey. Thank you, Stephanie Cook. Says big love to everybody here from California. Thanks, Tabu, and much love. All my Cali cats out there. Live 1707, all the rest. Yeah, I seen that comment. So, growing is definitely your number one way to combat all this stuff. That's all I can say. I should be doing. I'm in a transition period anyway myself, but grow food. Yes, that's it. I look to in the coming years. You'll see me if everything is, if I'm still breathing and streaming and all this other stuff. You'll be seeing me show you where I'm at in terms of food production and all those things. Um, that's good. To do a lot of barter is good. To already have a barter system going is great. If you're trading with your neighbors for goods and things like that, that's great. Around here, I'd say it's kind of like that as well. It depends on the people and how close and tight the neighbors are, how tight you make it. But, some neighbors can show up and be like, they'll bring a fresh basket of the stuff that they've grown because they have a lot of it. The kind thing to do is when you do that, when you grow and you have extras, you return the favor, and you in turn get some things that you don't normally grow from them, and the same from you. So yeah, bartering's key, man. Just yesterday, today, it's every day we go down this back road. It's actually on the main road, and there's people set up on it constantly, all over the place, selling stuff, almost like a yard sale, but it's like all the time. All kinds of different stuff. There's produce, there's different items, all kinds of stuff. It's like a big open flea market type deal. And we have these type of places, especially when it's warmer out, that pop up all over. All right, so let's go into the financials. Win Bitcoin. Win Bitcoin 100,000. Well, I guess it does kind of, a lot of this hinges on this presidency type thing, on the outcomes. It really does. With gold, with Bitcoin, it's something to watch when all this stuff goes down on election day. You're going to see the markets do, we've seen it before, make some crazy moves. It depends here. It depends on what happens. It could send this thing charging or it could send it dumping. We've seen it charge before. And I've seen dumps. I've seen it all. But we don't know exactly what you're going to throw at us here. So, people out here thinking that if Trump gets in there, he's gonna try to take out Gary Gensler, and that Trump's basically good for Bitcoin. And I would say that if all that happens, Trump gets in there, you see Bitcoin charge. Just by the way it goes, by the way it's looking, or you never know. On the news, it could dump because that's how crypto works. Any newbies, just it's hard for them to wrap their head around that. But crypto's all driven on news cycle, man. And you sell the news. Anytime there's any big news in it, you sell those tips. Sell when it's at a high. That's what I say. But I don't know. I'm not in Bitcoin, keeping up with it and charting it and doing all that stuff. My attention would be on the real physical money, not a digital nothing. But if you can make money somewhere and do it righteously, do your thing. 3 in 4 Americans say they're not financially secure. That's how bad it is right now. Yeah, been feeling the pain. It continues. A lot of people, obviously, looking at this election, trying to look at the whole thing with Trump as being a change to try to swing things back to normal. And nothing's going to go back to the way that it was ever. It just never works that way. Things could get better, yes, but in terms of prices and all these things, like some things are just never gonna return to where they were at. Much love, Live 1707, my brother. Hope all is good, man. Here's one out of the Bay Area. Speaking of my man, Live 1707 in the Bay Area, we've got a story right on cue here. It was the next one up. Timing. It's a synchronicity to me. But Telco Credit Union, out of the Bay Area, their customers waiting to access their full accounts because they've been under a ransom attack. This began over the weekend. You're talking 500,000 people not having full access to their accounts to get their money out, and they're all saying things like they're scared, they're afraid it's about to go belly up. And remember, I told you there's like over 60, and it's probably higher than that. They've been saying that for months now. There's over 60 banks that are insolvent. The FDIC said this, and they've repeated it a dozen times. They literally have repeated it a dozen times or more. But they will not tell us a single name of a single bank for the fear of, starting a bank run or something. So they're not naming anything. They're just waiting for stuff like this, I guess, to happen and for people to get done in slowly. That way it doesn't create a bank run. At some point it's going to. There's only so many of these stores we're going to run, and too many people are going to be talking to one another. They're going to be freaking out. Just like this. Imagine going to the bank, and now you're 3 days past the first. Rent's been due, all this other stuff, all these other bills piling up. And if you were a lucky one, you got $500 out of the ATM before they ran dry. And that was it. They were only allowing up to $500 people were getting out. People were pissed. Like, this does not even cover rent. This doesn't cover anything. Like, it should be way more. This is absolutely ridiculous. Well, ransom. This is how it begins. I told you this. And look, if they draw this out, you know what the government can come and do now next? They can say, oh, guess what? We don't have a remedy for this, but we think we've got an answer. We've created a CBDC, and it's going to replace whatever's in your account. We'll replace it in full, every penny. You just got to sign up and download this digital wallet. It's over. It is game over. Like a flood, the people will flood into it, not knowing any better that it's a trap, CBDC trap, and it's over. It's just that easy. As far as I see it, because I spend hours wargaming and thinking about this stuff every night and which way it could go and what could happen, different outcomes. And this is the top of the list in this money move right here. It's this exact thing, just blowing up on a larger scale. A little bit bigger bank gets hit like this, gets frozen for a few weeks. Imagine JP Morgan Chase gets hit like this, frozen for a couple weeks. Are you kidding me? Wells Fargo, the biggest banks out there. Just imagine. Your bank gets hit. You can't access money for a week. What are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do when you get thrown into this mix? After I've sat here and warned you about this all this time. Much love, Crown Jewels, Fire the Flame. Huh? Telling you, as I said before, I wouldn't have anything personally. I wouldn't have anything in a bank except for what I'm paying for the bills right ahead of me in the weeks ahead. Literally. I'd be just only inserting it at that to take care of the things you have to with the bank account. And that should be all you're willing to risk and lose. And you're able to keep everything paid. That's how I would be doing. I'd just be feeding it. That's how I am doing. I'd just be feeding it in these small chunks, just to keep whatever paid. That way, when this happens, you're not at a major loss. And I personally don't have a 401k, but by golly, if I did, I wouldn't. Meaning, I would have done liquidated it like yesterday and sold out at the top of this charging, what they want to call a charging but rigged market. Bitcoin at a high, market at a high, gold at a high. Yeah, don't have to ask me twice. That's screaming sell to me, and I would disconnect my 401k from all of it. I'd cash it out, and I'd be getting into all the things that I need. That's what I would be doing. Don't you ever forget I told you it. Don't you ever forget that I told you it. I know it's some hard things to contemplate. Should I really be listening to this dude and go and make this big move? What's the wife, what's the family going to think, this, that? Well, you need to be thinking it out. Work that muscle between your ears. Put some major thought into it, because it's rather you use it or lose it. That's the situation we're in. And I ain't losing Nathan. Not to this beast. Not no more. Not when we can see things coming. You gotta be smarter than that. What would anyone stay in this for anyway, with their 401k or anything at this point? To me, for a few more pennies, that's greed off the top of the market. And that greed gonna get you licked on all of it. When this goes into motion, you won't be able to get nothing out, just like these people. You won't be able to cash out your 401k. None of it. All the triggers will fly like they do, like you've seen Roaring Kitty here recently. Triggered the market, the stock market. As soon as anything starts to dump and sell, they will freeze it. You will not be able to sell. You will be stuck like Chuck. Done. I've warned you. This is it. And that's it on a miniature scale. What I believe is about to happen, that was all of it, minus the government jumping into the rescue. We know they're sitting there, sitting there with their hands together on the sideline and salivating, waiting for something. Well, it's begun. That was the miniature version of it. Wait till it hits a big bank and all these people that are just sitting there get hit. When the panic begins, it's over. And the panic's going to be so bad, it's going to be a force multiplier in the dumping. Because once someone can get in, it's going to be dumping. It's just like anything else in a dumping market. If you've never experienced like a Bitcoin crash or anything like that, maybe you should have. There's cycles to it, man, to all this. When a massive dump out begins, it lasts for years. Years off the top. Especially with Bitcoin. When it goes into a bear market. And again, it's all driven by news. Negative news is what will tear it down. Yeah. So, what happened in 1971? Well, in 1971, something, not just the gold standard thing, but something crazy happened. All these charts, when you go back there, shows that real GDP and productivity continued to rise, but compensation for workers flatlined. So not only did they do their thing with gold, you can see that they've got this pointed out here in all these spots. But what they did when they took away all this is they made sure that the bottom 90% of earners flatlined, while the 1% since 1980 has been on the rise. Yep. Yeah, 50-year decline in wages. And where it should be. We're getting played. Everyone's getting played like a fiddle. So, well, what happened in 1971? Clearly something. Well, quite a few things apparently. Nixon severed the dollar's last connection with the gold standard, making it a purely free-floating fiat currency. Okay? So Nixon ordered the Treasury to uncouple gold from a fixed price of $35 an ounce. And then he suspended the ability of foreign banks or anyone to cash in your money for gold. So you were able to take your dollars to the bank up to this point and exchange them and get gold in reserve. in return for it. Okay, so you couldn't do none of this. We had no gold connection whatsoever after 1971. So he said that your money would be always worth the same, but that was a lie. It was a big lie. He said, let me say to the rest of the bugaboo of what is called devaluation, and promised your dollar will be worth just as much as it is today. And that was a lie because they've devaluated the crap out of it. You know it. And this website exposes all these things. So it brings me to just a couple years later. They do away with the gold, right? They totally disconnect the gold from the backing of money on the US dollar. Well, check this out. They quickly get into a situation where it needs backed by something, because when it's not backed by anything, things start to go crazy because it's just paper fiat money. And when the whole world realizes that they can burn it, it's nothing, and they lose confidence in it, it all goes downhill from there. That's why a gold standard works. It's because if they begin to print too much money, other countries can come back and exchange in their dollars in return for gold. And when they start to do that in mass, it makes the country pump its brakes on the printing machine. Or you lose control of the whole thing and you lose all your gold, and you're stuck with nothing but all the paper money. Do you see? And that's essentially what we've done. Yeah, replace the gold with promissory notes, right? Which are worth nothing. And so they devalued that IOU, that promissory note, to like nothing today. Well, right after 1971, the dollar quickly started to tank and to go down because they were printing so much, and people were like, hold on, it's not connected to the dollar no more. I can't get nothing out of it. Maybe I should just dump it. So they were like, you know what? We've got to chalk up some kind of a deal. We need a country that can invest into U.S. money and strike up some kind of deal that works. Well, along comes Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia, being the oil barons, they had money at the time to start to invest into this deal with the United States. And this created the petrodollar throughout this deal, meaning that all of these deals that are being done are backed by oil now. Do you see? You see? And there was this big switcheroo where they took us off gold. We free floated for a minute, and then they made this huge deal where they connected to our dollar directly to black gold, to oil. And the petrodollar was born. And it has been used like this whole time until now. Something is happening that's never happened until now. Saudi Arabia is dumping these petrodollars in our dollars, and they're going with BRICS in Russia, in China, here on this world stage. And this, if you've ever seen it, is the death of the dollar. When you pull away Saudi Arabia from the dollar, it's done. It's done. It's done. It is done. In our time, as a major reserve currency alone at the top will come to an end. Does this mean the US dollar is gone forever? No, it doesn't. As a matter of fact, I'll predict that it doesn't disappear at all. It just takes a hit. Just like all these monies before it. You see all these monies, especially these closer ones here, that still exist to this day? Look at the British pound, the pound sterling. It ruled the roost. It was the major reserve currency. This is a list since 1250 right here. So from the late 1700s to like just past 1900, the pound sterling ruled the roost on the world stage. Then the United States US dollar came into play. And it's been running the show ever since. Okay? What they've created, though, now, and how I feel it's going to move from here on out, is they have created a SDR, okay, with standard drawing rights. And this connects to a basket of currencies. Remember this. It's no longer going to be just us, the United States, solely as that big dog currency. It's going to be a basket of currencies globally, which you've already got going with multiple different countries in it. And I believe they're going to roll out a universal digital currency that's backed by this basket and by potentially gold and gold on the contract, because that's what China's doing right now. And you almost have to pitch it this way for anyone to accept it. It has got to be backed by gold. Has to be. Absolutely has to be. And when you do this, the price of gold skyrockets and goes through the roof. And this takes you back to another thing they did back in this cycle, as they confiscated gold. And they could very well try to do it again. But it depends on your state and where you're at. A vast majority of professionals out there own some gold. It's just the way it is. It's been the best move. I had somebody in the comments thanking me earlier over on X. And you're welcome. Thank you for listening. Feels real good when you put in all this work and people actually listen and heed the signs, the warning signs, that they make moves on what you say. And years ago, I was saying, gold, 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 silver, silver. As I've been saying, y'all, anyone that's been following me, you know this. And I put my money where my mouth is. We invested. Not only that, I started smelting, casting my own coins or coinage and rounds. Tacos got into it, all that. Now that it's at a high, people are able to cash out and they're seeing major profits. Or some are just still sitting there like, yo, we're up big off our moves. And still sitting there like, yo, we're riding this out. That's good. That's good. It's good. It's good. Remember what I said about gold. If you're going to invest and buy something that you want to short term make some dollars off of, you want to get serialized bars, not coins, and get half ounces or ounces and go about it that way. And make sure they're serialized. Therefore, you'll have no problem selling them back into to these places that do it, like Coins Plus and things like that out there. They will oftentimes not take, even if it's you bought legitimate gold shot or something like that out there, they won't buy it back because they're afraid the feds are going to come breathing down their throat because you stole a gold bar somewhere and you melted it down into bits and pieces and you sold it to them as shot. You know, that's what they're geeking on. That's their excuse. But that's not why we got to always get into gold and silver here. There's different reasons. You can do it for that right there, that trade, that short-term, even long-term trade. Hold on to it for years and years. In a lot of states, the taxes have gone away, so it's huge. Okay? And what does it tell you? This is money. That means that your state is accepting this as sound money. It's sound money. My state just did it. It's crazy. And that means that's what it is. This isn't just an element. This is sound money. And the state accepted is as such, with no tax on it. Meaning everyone that ever listened to a word I said and lives in a state like this or moves to one before they sell it, every dime that you see a profit off of this move was tax-free. You could have never got a better blessing on a money move. Ha! Yeah, Parker Brothers. Thank you, Kev Bar. And thank you for the comment. Um, I'm telling you though, brother, it's when the dollar dies, it comes down to dollar and silver, and your states are ready. I just hope you are. Um, happy Independence Day, Kev Bar. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the coffees. Much love. Hope all is well. Can't wait to see you again. Before this is all over, we got to get one in. Um. So yeah, much love to my cats out there making a move on the gold. Look at Nigeria. Nigeria is repatriating all of its gold, meaning it's telling the UK and their vaults, like, we want our gold back. Bring it back. Yeah. They hold 21 tons in its reserves. And you don't want to get caught up in a war or anything crazy on the bad side of the crown in England where they hold all this. Because that's how it works, if you guys don't know. If any government in the world wants their money to be recognized, you have to send a huge chunk of your gold from your country to the UK, to London, where they hold it in vaults. And then they will recognize your money as being legitimate. You can play ball. You understand? Now, Venezuela got checked by them. Venezuela jumped into this whole game, and then they decided they wanted out when everyone was turning on them, and they were like, you know what? Give me all my gold back. And the UK said, F you. Come and get it. Maduro's like, you've got to be kidding me. And realized he'd been had. And he did. Then he had no gold to back his currency or his economy. Now you know why it's hell down there. They've done it to him. This dude sits on more oil than anybody on the freaking planet, Maduro in Venezuela. Come on. And they have made that place in shambles because they can't control him fully. Some can argue that they do, but they tried to install a replacement down there. It didn't work. It's still in shambles. Anyhow, the whole story is don't put your state gold, country's gold, anything like that in someone else's vaults. That's the biggest trick in the book. And once they got it, they've got it. Good luck getting it back. And Nigeria is trying to do just that. We'll see what happens. See if there's some kind of coup in Nigeria tomorrow morning. So, here's one you want to watch. Anytime guys like Jeff Bezos are out there cashing out billions, dude, you better watch it. These guys got so much money, the world's richest men, that what's kind of chump change to them is still billions. And that's the case here. He sold 25 million Amazon shares, $5 billion worth. Yep. He still holds, so grab your calculator, you want to know how rich this dude is. He still holds over 900 million shares. So if he sold 25 million for 5 billion, he holds 900 million still. They drove Amazon stock to a $2 trillion market cap. Nuts. So this dude's mega. But, dude, you can do a lot with 5 billion. And he did this with, as Gary was saying earlier, he did this without tanking the whole market. Who else can shave 5 billion, sell 5 billion of something and not affect the market? That's crazy. It's insane. But yeah, all the lemmings still holding. I mean, this dude's gonna. I don't know. They all do this. Elon sold off top. He's selling off top. It's the name of the game, though. I mean, that's where you sell, and this is what makes them the richest men on the planet. Selling tops, not bottoms. So let's get into the political realm. Let me past the top of the hour, but let me just go ahead and load up a chest real quick over here for my cats. On D Live, got 1,000 going in. Much love, Hoodie Ross, Panther, Beard Vet in the house. Make sure to check out Beard Vet. All you guys out there, love your coffee. You're not going to find any better. It's at a Beard Vet. And much love to everybody here on this chest. Opening it now as a crack into this politics. Much love, Alf. So the Trump sentencing, I told you, was scheduled for 7/11 coming up because time's flying. It's been delayed 2 months if necessary, if it doesn't dissolve by then. For any other person out there, they wouldn't be getting these breaks. But all the stuff that's been happening with the Supreme Court and all that, it's opening up doors for Trump and an escape route, some could say, from a lot of these charges and things they're trying to throw at him. Much love, Adam, Crazy H, Pole Shift, Hoodie, for me. So, this is, we'll see here. Yeah, definitely. Well, watch out for a dive in the market because Bezos selling things like that. When the market tanks, they all know that they're all going to have something in it. They all can't just sell everything that they got. That in itself would tank the market. And there's it's illegal to do. They would stop it. That's I don't know. This is how they do it. They take out these chunks. They get so big and rich. They take out a $5 billion chunk and people don't even realize it. Yeah. So the Democrats are just totally losing it. They're talking about assassination, this and that, left and right when it comes to Trump. Yeah, openly. They're openly talking about Trump assassination. Left and right. Different people saying this stuff. And they're talking about these rules. Since the Supreme Court came over and did this thing with Chevron, they're basically saying that Trump, they tried to flip this as a good thing for Trump, saying that Trump can basically get out of these charges he's facing now because he was on official duty. Basically saying that he cannot be charged under America's law, per the Supreme Court now, for anything that he did while on official duty. You see? So anything he was out there doing while on the clock, punched in, is our president, official duty, he can't be held accountable for. Can you believe that? All right? But anything that was unofficial business, he can be held accountable for. So, keep that in mind. Keep what I just said in mind. I'm going to play this clip of what this lady says. This is about, I got 2 different clips here. One's geared toward Trump, and I don't even think I can play that. I can't even play the second one because the lady drops too many F-bombs. She's calling for an absolute assassination of Trump. She is, flat out. And how the feds aren't knocking on her door yesterday morning, I don't know. But she flat out was calling for it big time, um, on the heels of a lot of other people calling for it. So here, let me play this.
I guess, theoretically, President Biden, acting within the scope of his official duties, could dispatch the military to take out the conservative justices on the court, and he'd be immune.
You see what she said? You see how they're flipping the script? In literally using it like we could just straight up take him out. And since you wanted to make it this way, Biden can't. You know what? You know what, though? You guys better pay attention. The smoke and mirrors of this whole thing. Look past this. Look past these goons here. Look past this whole story and anything else that can affect it. This means that Biden's got 6 months on the clock to do anything he wants and get away with, dude. That's what I just took away from this. And it does. And it does. She just said it. She just basically said it, rubbing it in your face. That they could take him out and get away with it. And as Spiro says as he checks in, that's why other presidents get away with war crimes. David Jenkins says Dabu big in Japan. What, an earthquake? Or you just sending big love from Japan? You got me over here checking the quake maps, man. It's just routine for me. I hear big Japan. It's just how it rolls. Thank you. Much love. Worldwide. Everybody listening in. We are live on all kinds of different platforms spread out. Tonight, here, I'm just going to take it down and show you. Well, I didn't see this one.
So the Supreme Court ruled that a president has complete immunity for any act they do in their official capacity as president. And Joe Biden is still president. And the Supreme Court is counting on Joe Biden to continue to be the good man that he is and not abuse what they have just given him. But personally, I think Joe Biden should go full Monty on this. I mean, in his official capacity as president, maybe he could just disband the Supreme Court or unalive Donald Trump. I mean, he'd have complete immunity. He's president, right? That would.
You see what this has done? You see what this has done? This is the opposite side of it. Everyone was saying it's good. All the Trumpers are seeing this as, it was good, it's good for Trump, and they were hailing this. Well, it's like, hold on a second. The evil minions got 6 months on the clock still. Like, they must have erased, they replaced it. They replaced her with, they replaced this video. This was the one calling for assassination. No, it wasn't this one. It was a different one, a different lady with glasses on. An actor, even, I believe. But she just said it softly right there as well. They're all calling for it here. They're all saying, brother, this is sick. Yeah, this is how countries collapse. We're watching our country die in front of us. Literally. It's like the Titanic sinking, and we're on it, and we're just watching. No lifeboats to jump to. No one coming to the rescue. Just the world's richest minions pulling it off, right? Yeah. Sounds about right. It is so evil. It's dude, we've entered a diabolical window in time. I don't have a crystal ball, but guys, be ready. We've seen this coming for years. This window has so much high, intense energy. Buckle it up. Get ready. I've told you with everything. I've told you here tonight everything I'd be doing. I wouldn't have nothing in the banks, 401ks. I'd have done replenished and restocked all your mountain house, all your freeze-dried food, all your survival products, all of it. Like, this is that year. This is that time. This is the survival spring cleaning time. You might as well just get used to it. It is. It should always be. I don't know how many more elections this country's got, or what's left here in the tank, but boy, oh boy, this ain't good. These goons openly making these statements about assassination. Just somebody tweets, something like that, or anything about Biden. We end up seeing stories. Oh, here it is. Here it is. It wasn't there. It was here. I can't play it. I still can't play it. This actress from Orange is the New Black. Loaded. You got that right. And thank you for those coffees. The support. You got that right. This gets crazy. In this climate now, even though it's a stage and it's set up, right? You're still now, like people just like this, that can't hold it together, that are that weak. They're openly calling for this action and calling for Joe to take out Trump and literally take his life. And you will get away with it because you're immune. The same thing. What this does is this gets a bunch of, maybe it draws out that lunatic that says screw it. And now he's going to, now the Secret Service really does have their work cut out for him, because now you're drawing out the real loonies to come. You're like putting out a call, the bat signal for these guys to come out and take out Trump. You're on social media and all over the place. Your stars, your actors, the people you look up to, they're all calling for this. They're all saying it openly. So it's fueling these people sitting in the living rooms or in the bedrooms watching this. They're getting all pissed off too. They're pumping their fists and they're loading up shells. And they're cussing. This is what's happening. I'm telling you right now, man. You can't blame some crazy right-winger or for Trump's assassination. Or could the sickos try to do that and try to say it was the disgruntled right-winger? They got pissed off at Trump, turned on him, and they'll do something like that, right? Because it can never be their fault. So what's let me keep it pushing here. Well, that one basically said what exactly are Biden's achievements, and it's nothing. He's done nothing except create massive inflation, loss of jobs, wreck the economy, all these people, everyone's way of life, killing the country. Exactly what Spiro said earlier. Yes, Lord. Yes, much love. Came through, got the signal on the screen. I appreciate it. Much love. Appreciate it too. The fullest salutes. So Biden is saying that he's not quitting. No one's pushing him out. You could have fooled me. I don't think it's up to you at this point. Oh, Joe, don't. I think all this was done on purpose, for sure. And I think we've yet to see why. I think when Mike steps on the stage, or whoever else, whatever's going to happen here, you'll see exactly why they did this. And to me, it's full scale obvious The DNC isn't even here. They have all the way up till even RNC has until oh no, it's DNC. They have till August 8th to lock in who their candidate's going to be. Plane crash, poison, overt for all to see. Depends on the outcome they want. Very true. Very true. I mean, this is a good round table discussion here on that one. There's a lot of possibilities at this point. Like I said, we've crossed the Rubicon. There's no looking back. We're in uncharted territory. We just are. You all can feel it. Feel the energy in the air. So many different things. I mean, we are invaded by a 1 million+ man army sitting here in the shadows, waiting. What are they waiting for? When are they going to strike? We've got all these things. It's that alone could send us into a state of emergency and cancel the election. I mean, I'm going to keep it pushing here. So Biden had an emergency White House meeting. He had all these different Democratic governors come in. Newsom, gruesome Newsom came on in. He's things to watch. Kentucky, my governor, which got in through garbage, rigged crap, should not even be in his spot, because anywhere you go in my state, you're going to see Trump everywhere. Everywhere. They even voted for him in the election. So you tell me how we ended up with a Democratic governor because of garbage that I've talked about before. But the rest of the country don't care about little old Kentucky. Well, maybe you will now when they're trying to serve you up our damn governor, Andy Beshear, that you've never heard of. That's right. He's moved all the way up the ladder, right next to Newsom, as being their pick. Dude, let me tell you something. This is making me sick with all this. Everything I'm seeing, I'd rather Biden just... Somebody said, I'd rather Biden just, at this point, just run because it give Trump the better odds, right? And then you could be done with this. Right? And then the majority of the people out there could just be happy you get your Trump back. Because I don't know what else to do to shut people up. Because it's pretty obvious out here, majority of the people want Trump over anyone. Obviously, it's the candidate. I mean, haven't you gone to a Trump rally, seen him, or seen one of these parades, or any of it? That is the vote of the country. And I'll give you the honest on it. That's where my American people are at. What left-right paradigm, all that, whatever. Majority ain't hearing my voice, ain't got that knowledge. All they're seeing is the picture they're painting. And Trump is the way out. Okay? And that is en masse. And I believe it doesn't matter who you throw up on that stage. That it's the same way. If it's Michelle, if it's Hillary, if it's whoever. I don't think anyone stands a chance. Now, manipulation through the media is a different thing. If they want Michelle to be the one, well, then they'll come out being, well, the polls show that Michelle beats Trump 90% in the polls. Get out of here with your stupid Reuters polls and shove them. They're part of the manipulation. You run it. It's no different than the manipulated mainstream media. It's not. It's ran by the same manipulated mainstream media, matter of fact. Come on. Can't believe the news, definitely can't believe the polls. They can shove it. Okay? So, all these governors show up to try to give him support. Next one says, the dam is broken. As everyone's leaving, word gets out, at least 25, not one, not two, 25 congressional Democrats are preparing to call openly for Joe Biden to end his campaign. So this was all set behind closed doors, so they would have had a vote, and they would have all said, hey, we're calling for you to step down. We think that it's in the party's best interest. Finish out your term, this and that, in honorable way. We got to come up with someone else. It's not. They're trying to play it like it's nothing against you, blah blah blah. But like 4 more years at this point, we're concerned, highly concerned, and just trying to play that route. And what this does is opens the door for the dark horse. You got that right. Yeah, Spiro, it's crazy. Okay, so you have Tucker, saying that this can never be walked back. Yeah, I'm surprised it lasted this long too, for real. And I agree that this can't be walked back. There's too much damage done now. It's done, overflowed. But who cares? Who cares? Who cares? They're still gonna give you him. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine we go all the way up? Even Trump gets through all these lawsuits, the election goes down, and guess what? They still give you this dude again. What are the people going to do? What are the lemmings going to do? What is everybody that just goes to these Trump rallies and that's it going to do? Everyone had said, oh, we'll wait 4 years. What are you going to do? Wait 4 more? There won't be nothing left of this place. Huh? What happens if they do all this and they give him to you again? And when he goes down, by default, Kamala becomes the leader. When he goes down with some kind of illness, can't walk, can't even get up out of breath, whatever it is, because he's just too damn old, Kamala, by default, is your leader. Some say there's no way. Well, hold on a second. It depends on what card they play. We were just saying all kinds of crazy cards can be played. I looked down and seen crazy tacos when I said that. There's synchronicity. All kinds of different cards can be played here. I'm for real. A crisis could break loose. An emergency. Don't say it can't happen. What if they throw everybody in lockdowns again? If that happens on his watch, there doesn't even have to be a precedent. I mean, I'm just saying the right kind of crisis. They can cancel all this stuff, postpone it inevitably. But look here, the New York Times steps up and says Biden may drop out of the race. That's a pretty big outlet from their side saying this. But the White House has told the outlet that claim is absolutely false. It's a bunch of gaslighting and jerking the chain like you've never seen before. The whole world got to see this dude's mental capacity. And once you tell a couple of the people on that side or any side, it's okay to slander him like he's out of here, and it starts happening, dude, it's just not going to stop. Too many people open their mouth with opinions from that side, and too many are voicing louder and louder for this to happen. They really are. What do we have here? Well, Michelle front and center with her shoulder pads. I tell you, man, Obama here in the bullpen, stretching. Sure is. Because where one goes, they both go. Old Michelle and Barack, right? You know what that means, right? technically, he would be running the show again. That is nuts. To think that Obama would have that much power, controlling Biden, and of course Michelle, in every single thing that happens. It would be everything that they want. There would be no like earpiecing it, like he'd just be pillow talking it every night, like so this what this and that, and yeah, this is what I'm warning you about. These types of headlines. Only Michelle Obama can beat Donald Trump. This is off RT. It's been past, no time for chit chat. When they put this thing out there, what are people going to do? What happens? How will the people respond when they install Obama here as your leader? What will they do? Yeah, they put running an Obama ticket. I could see that was there, but it's almost like, why burn it up? It's like, because they have that card to play now. That's how I feel. She ain't never served any limits, and there's nothing on her, so she could just like slide right on in. She could do 8 years. Guess who the VP would be? Spiro, get out of here, dog. Barack. Is it even possible? Hold on. Is it even legitimately possible? Hold on. Let's see what this can. Can Barack Obama be vice president? No. Former President Barack Obama cannot serve as vice president. The 22nd Amendment of the Constitution prohibits a person from being elected to the presidency for more than two terms. Additionally, the 12th Amendment specifies that a vice president must be eligible for the presidency. Since Obama has already served 2 terms as president, he is ineligible to run for that office again, and is almost certainly barred from running for vice president as well. Oh, crap. So this is his only ticket in. So hey, we got some clarification, some answers, right? That's what we do. Well, we rolled that one out. But like I said, what's it matter? He's still going to be in the White House. He's still going to be in the White House, pillow talking it every night. I mean, what does it matter? He will be the first man. God, this sounds stupid. And just sounds stupid. And it's, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is just nuts, man. This is just, I mean, man, Barack's just been in the basement, just the headset on, just the whole time. I think he still is. That's what it seems anyway. It's like they keep these same goons in power. Well, check this out. Biden since he's so out there in short circuiting and can't like stop when he's supposed to when it comes to teleprompter, he's supposed to like take these different colored words and words in parentheses and read them as it's telling him what to do, but not read them out loud. And all the time he does this. But like in this instance, he just flat out says kind of the quiet part out loud in the sense that they're shutting down people's energy. They're expanding energy shortages. He says it and slips right out there. It's not an accident because it's part of their policy. And because he's so bumbling around and people can't never or don't even pay attention to what he says anymore, he flat out says it. Listen.
We've invested billions to enhance our power grid, expand energy shortages so that lights, air conditioning, refrigeration, internet stay on during heat waves, storms, and other climate changes.
Look, he just barely made it to saying that. But he said it, and he said it right. And it almost messed him up. Because he couldn't believe he was saying it. But yeah, he was saying it. Expanding energy shortages. Yeah, that's right. Leaving people in rolling blackouts and all that stuff for longer. I advise you with everything you got to invest in some solar power if you want any power. And to go that route and to break away from the grid. Yeah, and we got some advisories. I've seen advisories coming through parts of Kentucky for boil water advisories. Now one in for the entirety of Washington, D.C. New boil water advisory issued. So no telling what the hell's going on there. It is a swamp, right? So, look at this. VP Harris nominee odds soar. Right? Look, let's look at some of these odds here. Predicted has odds for Kamala Harris hitting the ceiling and going up. This is where people putting their money. Everybody's still iffy, not knowing what's up. I see Gavin creeping up, and right behind Gavin's Mike. And then you got Gretchen, and then Hillary comes out of her hole, creeping up behind Gretchen. All right, so they're out there. And Hillary never won the presidential office, never served in any capacity. Right? She was secretary of whatever. But in a senator, but not a president or vice president. So that office, going by what we just learned about who can run and who can't, well, Kamala will have still four years eligible. Kamala would have 4 years eligible still in the office of the president, whether it was vice or the president, as it was just described. Of course, Gavin, Obama, they would have fresh 8-year slates if they got in. And, just saying, that's their lineup. That's the Democrats' lineup right here. These are their dark horses, so to speak. All the way down to J.B. Pritzker, for anyone that's ever even freaking heard of this dude. All right, so that's my cutoff line. Like, never going to happen. Hillary Clinton, Whitmer, Obama, Newsom. And now that you see Obama, Newsom, Harris, I mean, that's your top three right there. Without a doubt. I mean, this is where people putting their money on this. You feel me? I got something for you. Check this out. This may be some game changer right here. Oh, yeah. I say it is. Okay? So, little attention has been paid to what might be Kamala's greatest asset. It is her name on a $91.2 million Biden-Harris campaign account. Pay attention. Per federal election rules, in the event that Biden drops out, that account can't simply be handed over to whomever the party eventually nominates for the president, unless it's Harris. That's right. It can only go to her. And they no doubt would want to spend this and use this which would mean, as long as she's still there, is on the ticket, and hear me out, you may get a different president, but she still may run as vice and stay vice. She just slid by as vice. And because she stays in that position, they can use that money. And she will stay in her position as vice president, and you will get whatever they're about to serve up as the dark horse. I personally do not see the voters voting for this woman at all. Of course, I didn't see them voting for Biden last time, and you see what they gave you. All I'm saying is this. There's 90 million sitting in an account here that the Dems and the whole team can only use and utilize and tap into if Kamala's involved. So I'm going to say she at least is involved in the capacity of a vice. She just stays right where she's at, which is basically do nothing the whole time. It's kind of where I see it going. In terms of her becoming the president, my gosh, I just don't see it. I just can't see it at all. I see them choosing, like, I mean, why would Obama's and all them, like, miss that opportunity of that power grab and everything else? And here, I don't know. Knowing that they're this close to having, I don't know. But this is big. I seen this and I'm like, you know what? Remember this one, because there's no way they're leaving 90 mil on the table. They're going to get it somehow, some way. And really, all they got to do is keep her involved, and they get it. And just keep her as vice. And they got it. Simple. So, yeah, we're running past top of the hour. My last political one, so to speak here. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. facing backlash because of photos showing him trying to bite into a barbecue dog, which I'm not even going to show you. But, dude, this piece of work, he's a disgusting dude anyway. I told you all the history on this guy. He is such a sellout that he just said, all right, screw it. Screw the whole independent party, all that. If the Dems want me to run, I'll run over there. He'll just run over and jump on board of a whole thing he dogged and dissed completely just to go over and be their main man. Like, yeah, I'll be your main man as president. But you don't even hear him in this talk. But if he's willing to do it, what if he does? What if he at the last minute is like, yeah, I'll do it. And they're like, okay, you're our guy. I mean, like, dude, like, just, I'm so sick of the puppet show and all the circus, but boys, we're just getting started. Anyhow, but yeah, he's in pictures trying to bite down or acting like he's biting down on. It is a real barbecue dog on a stick in front of him. It's disgusting, but that's him. He's just a really disgusting individual. And thank you, Hex, for sharing the stream tonight. Top of the hour. Much love to everybody out there. I'm going to load up another chest here for everybody on D Live. 777 going in it. But yeah, that's and I'm opening a chest. That's all I got for the politics. We'll jump over to some war updates and a couple other things here before we close out the stream. I'm going to go a little bit longer tonight, it seems. Israel takes out a secondary Hezbollah commander in less than 2 weeks. This may not mean much to you or anything, but on this world stage and biblically, all this stuff, you have to watch what Israel's doing here. Adam again, crazy, hoodie, Panther, and for me, I think it's almost just like last time. Much love. If this spills into Lebanon, it could easily go into Syria, and those are the things that we're watching here in terms of, Damascus getting leveled. Damascus getting leveled is a biblical event right out of your Bible. It can happen anytime. And if it does, dude, you'll know where you're at in terms of history. Because you can point to a passage out of the Bible and be like, I'm living in it right now today. Damascus has been leveled. It's no more. I'm reading the headline. We're seeing it. And you're reading it out of your Bible. Yeah, that's going to be a trippy, breaking moment for anybody that lives to see it. And we're right there. We're on the doorstep. Those are the times that we're in. That's why it's important to keep an eye on what's happening over there. And what's your Bible say about Israel? What's Jesus say? What's Yeshua say about this? Huh? Yeah, wars and rumors of war. Correct. Hoodie. What's he say? Not one stone will be left unturned. Meaning Israel and that whole place is going to get wiped out. Not one stone will be left unturned. It's going to get rocked. And it's prophecy. So expect it. Like you expect Jesus to return. Because it's all prophecy. Russia's key in this whole thing, obviously. We're acting like we're sending F-16s to the Ukraine war front, the black hole, money laundering, all of our money, flipping it into gold. We know this, out of Ukraine. That may well stop for sure if Trump gets in there. If Trump's in office, we've seen it before. Different presidents come, different policies, different things. For sure, Trump's already said it. He'll have a peace plan chalked up before his first day, if he's elected. So Zelensky just come out like, oh yeah, hotshot, let's see your secret peace plan right now. Like demanding it. And it's like, dude, that's no way to talk. It was totally disrespectful. That's just how dude is. And how crazy this whole thing is. They need cut off now. But all the F-16s that we were trying to send there, Russia bombed the airfield. Now, in 24 hours, they've taken out dozens of them. Dropped them out of the sky. Dozens. Shot down. It's like, dude, man. Our F-16s are getting shot down like this and like everyone's turning a cheek. All of a sudden, the U.S. is saying they've completed these tests for the hypersonic missile. Let me tell you, they say in a bid to keep up with China. But dude, it's China and Russia. And Russia. And they admit it right down here in the article. They name them both. Why they left Russia out of the headline, I don't know. But that's where they're going to use the weapon first, is against Russia. That's probably why. Yeah, man. They've got these hypersonic missiles now. I'd expect to hear moves of like strategical strikes. Moscow, who knows where. Crimea, Kaliningrad. Yeah, all these places are open. All right, here's a positive. U.S. Marshals find 200 missing children in a nationwide operation. So that's huge. With all the trafficking, child trafficking, human trafficking going on out there, it's always a plus whenever they're bringing in any soul, that's been kidnapped out there. Kidnapped and being pushed. Are you kidding me? Adults, children in this country, all across it. Yeah, it's happening. By the truckloads, van loads. We've seen crazy stories here recently. Even where the back door wasn't even pulled all the way down. A dude seen it and he called. They pulled it over and they opened it up. And sure enough, it was loaded full of children. Insane. U.S. Marshals this time. They kind of specialize in this area of work. But amongst other things, U.S. Marshal can hop on a flight and go anywhere in the country for a warrant. They got that much jurisdiction, that much power. U.S. Marshals do. There was a movie on it. But, yeah, they got that much power. Tennessee law allowing a death penalty for pedos that go after children. And this all goes into effect. They join states like Florida, Arizona, Idaho, Oklahoma, South Carolina in making the death penalty a possibility for criminals convicted of child sex abuse. I wonder if guillotine's an option. I'm just curious. I guess it's all by lethal injection or what here? Or I guess in all honesty, all states got different laws and rules. I think Carolina's even got the shooting squad on the books. Yeah. Hey. Saying. It's the laws in those states I'm reporting on. So the Biden admin deliberately flying illegals that are out of this country back into this country. And that is absolutely crazy. They've been caught doing this. So it's one thing that some of these illegals and bad guys are being caught and kicked out of the country. They're literally flying them back in like, all right, screw it. You're not walking them or having them have to go through the whole process again. They're just going right over top of it and landing them in here. That is the biggest treason you've ever seen. Talk about sneaky Pete. They're sneaking them in, just flying them on in. It reminds me of, it reminds me of, was it Blow? In the movie where the dude's taking Cessnas and just flying the stuff easily right across the border from Mexico into the United States, and they're smuggling people right on in. It's your government. The Fed's doing this. It's nuts, and it's known. It's open. I just wonder if they're putting this out there and they're doing this to see how much the people will take, or if they just don't care at this point because they feel the people don't care. We're in for a rude awakening, America. The enemy's here sitting in the shadows all over the place. Your freaking government's facilitating it all over the place. And this treasonous regime that set it all up only has 6 months on the clock left of time. The sand is running out of the hourglass. Andre Nabel disappeared 5 years ago after leaving my street on foot. What? Man, dude. I'm telling you, man. Dude, we got to start coming together. I mean, we got to start, we got to do it. No one else is doing it. We got to do it. We got to start coming together and, having meetings and coming together and having units and, banding together to do things, because it's no one else is going to do it. We've got to start hunting people down. These illegals, where they're staying, these criminals. And there's full-blown syndicates and gangs and cartels involved in this stuff. They can be found, they can be tracked, and they can be traced. And it needs to be done. Looks like I'm out of time tonight, guys. I appreciate all you guys, as always. It's 11:11 here on the East Coast. And that is shutdown time for me here this evening. Chance for me to give some shout-outs here. Take us out of here on some music. And I look to be back with the next one, man. God willing. Going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. And that's the schedule from here on out. Check the chat here. Taco's checking in. That's it. Invest your time in righteous people. Live through the Most High. Much love. God bless. Great message. Beautiful message. Amazing pictures of you brewing that beer vet coffee out there in the mountains, and just seeing the pics, man. I seen enjoyment and fun on my people's faces, man. I wish I could have been there with you. Providence. Thanks, W. Take care. Eon, man. Relentless. Always checking in. I can't wait to see some of you. I keep the faith and the hope that I get a chance to see some of you. A lot of people keep asking me about a conference. Look, man, I got some big things hanging in the balance. Then literally, it's all come down to this next month or so. I got to get through this moment in time. If I can do it, we'll see. Because trust me, I want to meet up with everybody bad and see people as well. Everyone's chomping at the bit. And it's almost like every single time, you never know if this is our last chance to do it. I find myself always saying that, but it's the truth. Right now, more than ever. But, good night, all. Much love. Shout outs to all the purebloods. Sonic in the house. All my cats. I'll see you on the next one. Take us out of here on the dream. Much love. God bless. Stay righteous. safe out there for the 4th of July. Happy Independence. And remember, it's not free.